Hello guys, welcome to Talking News. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and do not forget to hit the notification bell if you would like notifications. Now guys, I'm doing something a little bit different. It's still raising awareness, but it's something different. It's not a missing person. So how many of us have heard of Make-A-Wish Foundation? So the Make-A-Wish Foundation is one of the largest wish granting organizations in the world. It used to be only the United States, but they have now gone international. In fact, they have granted more than 334,000 wishes for sick children all over the world, and this has been since 1980. If you're not familiar with it, you should check it out because it's a great organization to give to. There's been a lot of people, and especially celebrities, support this charity, and some of those celebrities are people like Justin Bieber and John Cena. In fact, John Cena holds the world record of wish grants at this organization. The last time I checked, it was like 600 wishes. Second is Justin Bieber. He volunteered for over 250 wishes. And to me, that is real people, real celebrities that truly care about other people because they're taking their time and actually helping these kids that don't have much longer or can't really live a life like normal people. Now, before I begin this story, I want you guys to see what these celebrities have done for other people.
John has granted more wishes than any other celebrity in the history of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Justin Bieber pajamas. This is a Justin Bieber perfume. It's my favorite.
This is Justin #1 because I got him first. And then this one is #2. The one that everybody talks about is the backpack. And it's his mugshot.
I got this one for Christmas, but this one was probably the...
It accounts for about 10% of leukemias at all, and less than 4% in children.
She's diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary hemosiderosis. That was at 26 months, and then last year in June, they diagnosed her with the second respiratory condition called constrictive bronchiolitis.
He is beautiful.
I get to come here and just make all these kids' dreams. It's really a blessing. It's just been so fun. It's been a great day. I think you're really special. I love being with you. I love spending this time with you. It's going to be a great journey for you, and you just got to enjoy each moment on the way.
I wanted to say that I'm so proud of you for how much you have grown this year, and you make me so happy.
Thank you. Give me a hug. All right. I know. You smell really good.
It's your perfume.
Is it? Give me a hug. Don't cry. Okay, thank you. I'm
I love you, baby.
Linda Blackman, your light will shine on the whole world in the end.
As you can see, Make-A-Wish Foundation has done some really great things for kids, including with the help of celebrities, which make a huge difference in a child's life. But sometimes you always have those certain people that want to take advantage of these good charities out there as well. There's always bad people, and this is the story we're fixing to talk about. I don't know if you've heard about it, but we're going to talk about it anyways.
Mother accused of killing her daughter after faking the little girl's terminal illness is expected to be in court today. Kelly Turner has a preliminary hearing in Douglas County. Turner is charged with 13 criminal counts in the death of her 7-year-old daughter, Olivia Grant. The Make-A-Wish Foundation threw a superhero-themed party for Olivia so she could be Batgirl at one point. Turner claimed Olivia had a terminal disease when she, in fact, did not. Turner collected thousands of dollars, supposedly to cover medical treatments. Olivia died in 2017, a few weeks after her mother opted to treat her at home.
Okay guys, so it's another sad case. It's kind of like the Gypsy Rose story, isn't it? And it really is. Except, this mother, I don't know, she just seemed to get away with it in plain sight. Even the doctors that she was dealing with did not put their foot down with this woman. So it kind of raises questions for me, and we're going to go over that right now. Now, I don't have huge details on this story right now because it's new for me, but Kelly Renee Turner, 41, who is also known as Kelly Grant, has 2 daughters. Interestingly, she has kind of moved around from spot to spot, which kind of makes sense with what she's being accused of. So before we even go into that story, I want to share that what she's being accused of, and that is having Munchausen by proxy. Again, I want to mention that is the same thing. If you go watch Gypsy Rose, and I think it's playing on, what is it called? Hulu. You can check that series out and kind of get, what happened. Not really the truth. It's kind of dramatized. And so this is a sickness where parents act like their children have terminal illness or something like that in order to get attention. That's what they're saying with this case. But I am raising flags, guys. I want you to know that she could not do this alone. And we'll share why later. So, and how they know that people are probably suffering from this mental illness or child abuse, however you want to look at it. A lot of times the parents refuse to give their consent to transfer records or claim that they have been lost. And that's according to Fieldman, who is an expert on this. And they said this can also raise a red flag, but it didn't with the doctors that she was dealing with. And that's what I'm wanting to make people see. So what's the signs of people who kind of might have Munchausen? And this is a few things that they're sharing online that I'm going to share with you. So number 1 on the warning sign list is people moving. They're moving, every so many years, just like they did with Gypsy Rose, switching doctors and insurance companies. And after death, seeming fascinated with mourning and funeral rituals. So according to studies, they're saying that this condition is thought to be as, rare, with an estimated 600 to 1,200 new cases each year just in the U.S. alone. They believe it's more common because it often goes undetected, let alone persecuted. So it's between 6 and 8% of these cases that are published in medical journals, if I can talk, that involve deaths. It doesn't seem like a lot, but to me, that's a lot. They often involve more than one child in a family as well. So this is where the story of Olivia Grant really begins. And she was born June of 2010. And I want to share some of the history in the past that Kelly shares with us through blogging. And according to a blog from 2014 is what I'm finding, her mother said that Olivia was born premature and was, other than little, healthy. Or so we thought, she said. At around 9 months old, at her checkup, her pediatrician noticed that she was not developing mentally, physically, and that her head was growing off the chart. And for those of you not familiar with some diseases that are related to a large skull, it's hydrocephalus, and that's what my sister's dealing with right now. So basically, Olivia's mother claimed that Olivia had actually started having medical issues at 9 months old. And skipping ahead just a little bit to November of 2014, Olivia had endured actually numerous hospital stays, surgery, treatments, invasive testing, just to sustain living. Now at age 2, Olivia was taken to the ER, saying that she was having trouble eating. And after that visit to the ER, and that's about a year later, she had surgery, get this guys, to remove part of her small intestine. Now, and you'll understand why I'm putting this red flag, and I want you to pay attention to this. Doctors removed her small intestine. It wasn't her mother, Kelly. Now, as time moved on, Olivia's problems just kept adding up. And the mom had a new diagnosis it seemed, every so often. But doctors later on say that there was nothing that was really, terminally wrong with the child. So just keep that in mind, guys. So let's go over her diagnosis. She claimed that her daughter had at age 2, so she was an autistic child. She had an inoperable vascular malformation. She had a tumor. She had hydrocephalus. That means there was a lot of water in her brain or in her skull. She had development, if I can spit this stuff out, guys, developmental delay, a seizure disorder, as well as carnitine deficiency. And I almost forgot, and I'm not sure how you pronounce this, and it's called celiac disease. She also had a colostomy surgery. I don't know if she had the bag or what, because I do not have her medical records in front of me. Guys, this is a pretty big diagnosis, and the thing is she was being treated by doctors for these things. So I do want people to recognize that we need to know that some of these doctors need to start paying more attention as well. I know we all have a horror story of dealing with doctors somewhere in our family. I know I have a lot. And so this means a lot to me. I'm having trouble figuring out which direction to go with this. So what I want to do, since we're addressing the doctors, is go over what the doctor said, because Olivia ended up passing away, which we'll go over in a little bit. But let's see what these doctors had to say after the girl passed away. Now, according to investigators, they had talked to multiple doctors that had treated Olivia over the years. And her pediatrician or pediatric surgeon who performed Olivia's feeding tube, a few other things, including a central line, get this, guys, described her mother as a high-maintenance mother who wasn't afraid of surgery. And that's according to the indictment. So, he's saying he's aware. And according to the pediatric neurologist who treated Olivia, and that was for her seizures, said that the little girl didn't have them, and told, Olivia's mother on 3 separate occasions over 2 years to stop giving her those drugs that treat seizures. And that's according to the indictment. I'm hoping they pulled their files as well. So this one really upset me. So he's a pediatric, he's over the gastrointestinal, I don't know what he's called, and said that all Olivia's medical history and symptoms came from the mother, and that the little girl did not exhibit the symptoms her mother described most of the time. And he said that he was against letting the mother take Olivia to hospice care to die. But how does she get there? Because a doctor has to sign off in most cases on that. So it just sounds like some of these procedures are kind of questionable. The diagnosis, everything about this story sounds wrong. And of course, there are several other doctors that said that they talked with her and tried to talk her out of this or that. But to me, it sounds like she did talking, and she talked them into doing things that weren't necessary. What kind of people does that make them? It's very questionable, in my opinion. I really have doubts all around the table on this one. I hope investigators are looking into the doctors and the mother. The thing is, where's the father in all this? We never do hear anything about the father. So one thing I'm hoping for is that our media will start addressing the problems that we're having with our medical in this country. I mean, malpractice is one of the #1 killers in this country, for God's sake. So I still say that the mother is not 100% alone in this tragedy. Now, I want to share a few more blogs that Olivia's mother posted on, what they were going through. Now, let me let you guys know that a doctor is not going to give a child something they don't need. And in this blog, she's going to be talking about some treatments. So here we go. So after a trip to the orthodontics place and a referral to a neurologist, we thought we could simply get a helmet to reshape her skull and all would be well. Don't ever count your chickens before they hatch. So an MRI of the brain at a neuro office showed that Olivia had a vascular malformation of the brain. Further testing determined that it was inoperable. She says, what comes with that? Possibly seizures, blindness, aneurysm, stroke, or death. It was decided that she would be monitored every few months. Routine MRI, not, she writes in all caps. The next MRI led them to do an ultrasound because something in her neck looked different. So we know, So we now have discovered that there is a tumor on her, and they had actually found a tumor on her parotid gland. I hope I said that right. And they said what comes with that could be deafness in the right ear, trouble swallowing, as well as trouble chewing. She continues to write, so in the course from the time Olivia began seeing a doctor for specific things in her short life, we have now turned to 2 in June have extended our diagnosis list. I'm having trouble understanding what she wrote here. And she has been to several doctors before, and we found one actually able to test and treat Olivia. And we found them in Denver, Colorado. So I do know at one point she was in Texas. So at some point she ended up between, she was between Texas and Colorado when all this was happening. So she actually started extending her blogs. She added charity sites. I think it was 2015. She added a GoFundMe. And Olivia's mom continued to share her experiences with everyone willing to know. Her life was about the illness of her daughter and what she was going through. So Kelly worked hard as a caregiver and mother to Olivia, and that was her life. So she built these blogs, these charity pages, set up for anyone willing to help her as a mother who has fallen onto hard times, a single mother at that. So Renee helped her daughter build a bucket list. So things that she wanted to do. And Renee reached out to places like the Make-A-Wish organization and her local community members like the police and firemen and whoever would listen. Make-A-Wish, excuse me guys, actually reached out to Olivia's mother, stating that when Olivia was asked by Make-A-Wish Foundation which wish she wanted, the girl said she wanted to actually battle Batman. And Olivia said, quote, I want to battle Batman. We are going to battle Ursula and we are going to battle Captain Hook. All to save Bella and Ariel. Olivia was talking to a news station. She said, the wish came true. Quote, a dream is a wish your heart makes, Olivia said to the station. So now Renee was starting to get publicity with her daughter's sickness. And she was having her wish come true. I mean, she was just getting to see things that any little sick child deserves. I mean, really, the community's reaching out. These big organizations are reaching out. But I can tell you, it seemed like her favorite thing was when she was either a fireman or a policeman for the day. Now, according to this article, Olivia really took national attention or caught national attention, according to ABC News, when the Denver Police Department granted her wish to be a police officer for the day. She was given her own uniform, a ride in a patrol car, and she even made an arrest. And in this article, it described Olivia as being terminally ill. So I want to take a minute to show you a clip from that. Beautiful, wasn't it? I mean, this community really did come together to try to make her dreams come true. And this is because they felt they were actually kind of, were they deceived? I don't know. I mean, because really, I have some questions about her treatment. I mean, I'm having to tell you guys that you need to start worrying about the health care in this nation. I mean, it's very sketchy anymore. And between the mother and the healthcare system, this little girl fell into those cracks. And those cracks just sucked her in. She didn't deserve that. She really didn't. I mean, we really need to be more aware of why our medical system is failing so many people. It's not just people dealing with this situation, and there's 100 different situations where people are suffering through healthcare systems. We have people who are falling through the cracks that have mental illness, just like this woman, who are having children. And so she has 1 and 2 or 3 children, which you're fixing to find out here on this story. We'll hear more on her second child as I move forward. Okay, guys, so here's the clip from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I want you guys to check this out. This is just really great what they do for these kids.
This is a sad but heartwarming tale. Little Olivia Grant emerging from a limousine as Bat Princess 2 years ago.
She said, I want to battle with Batman. We're going to battle Ursula. And we're going to battle Captain Hook and save Belle and Ariel.
The mother
So Kelly seems like a legitimate good mom, doesn't she? She seems, her eyes seem to read loving, you know, trustful. What do you think? It's truly amazing what this Make-A-Wish Foundation did for these children. I mean, they did exactly what she asked for. And what's kind of odd to me, and if the mom was kind of wanting attention, she definitely wasn't caring what type of attention she got, because, you know, these weren't extravagant things that they were doing for this child. And what I mean about this wasn't vacations to Disney World or to SeaWorld, Universal Studios. These were just little simple things. And like I mentioned before, she just, if you look at her, it would be incredibly difficult. I think if you pay more attention with the Gypsy Rose, you would have seen it. But this one, I think, was incredibly difficult to know what was really happening behind the scenes. And the only people that would have known are the doctors. And so I have to wonder, did the doctors plant this seed in her head? Now, right now, you know, she had income coming in. And to be honest with you, she only got $22,000 through the GoFundMe, which is kind of surprising with the fact that people are so giving these days. And guys, according to ABC, Kelly Grant said that Olivia had dementia and required hospice care, and that an article described Grant as a mother of 3. Olivia was also able to be a firefighter that day. So it's not that long after that, you know, Olivia went on to hospice care, according to her doctors, were not something that they were supporting.
And so we made a bucket list, and one of her things was to become a firefighter.
See how far we can get it to go?
We got to do that, so they have to check it off.
Thanks for being a great boss.
Awesome.
Kelly Renee Turner puts Olivia, just 7 years old, in hospice care. And she said this was the humane thing to do, was to stop the care and allow for her daughter to die because her quality of life was poor. 7-year-old Olivia passed away August of 2017. Her cause of death was determined to be intestinal failure. Now, I want to remind you guys that she's not able to fill this out. You know, these are doctors and stuff that have to fill this paperwork out. So I want to remind you that it's not 100% her. I mean, we have many, many people involved with this case, and they are not getting nothing but a slap on the hand. I mean, people trust in doctors, and they trust in them to pay attention, to do their job correctly, and to be a doctor to them, not just to be somebody that walks in and out of the room without knowing your file. I mean, I have to do stories all the time, and I can't just go and glance over it and say, you know, I know what's going on. You know, you're going to make huge mistakes in a story that way. And it's the same when you're dealing with doctors, when they deal with their patients. Doctors are in a hurry to get the money in and out, and that's not the way it used to be. So guys, 2 days after Olivia's death, her mother posted on August 20th of 2017. She said, August 20th, 2017 will be a day of utter joy for me. I've seen all the numerous posts on Facebook of everyone saddened and heartbroken over the loss of the sweet Levy, and all day I have wondered why. Why I couldn't help it. I took a picture at 7:36 p.m. and she took her last breath at 7:40 p.m. There were tears, but only for a moment. The doctor was called, other workers, to let them know that she passed. Within about 30 minutes, the staff members were showing up to hug us, love us, cry, but mostly tell of how she touched them. Absolutely heartbreaking that she took a picture of her on her last breath. Guys, yeah, I mean, what's definitely something wrong with her. So, also you hear where she had to call the doctor. As I mentioned before, the doctors do play a huge role in the murder of Olivia Grant. If doctors disagreed that Olivia should not have been on hospice care, why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they, you know, call authorities? So I want to share the obituary for Olivia, but I'll do that later. First, I want to cover this. What got Kelly caught? So Olivia's death became suspicious after her sister, now 11, reportedly fell ill with cancer. According to this article, the sister was first treated in 2013 in Colorado, but in 2018 she started to see a new doctor who grew suspicious after Grant claimed her daughter undergone chemotherapy and radiation treatment for 3 years in Texas. So Kelly Grant, 41, was arrested Friday, October 18th for the 2017 death of her daughter Olivia Grant, who she claimed was diagnosed with a rare and fatal disease. She was arrested at the Glendale Hotel on a Friday morning. Kelly Grant was being held without bond on the following charges: murder of the first degree, actually 2, murder of the first degree, child abuse, theft, 3 counts, charitable fraud, 3 counts, attempt to influence public servant, 2 counts, and second degree forgery, 2 counts. So, you know, they claimed that she basically defrauded Medicaid and the Health First Colorado of an estimated over $500,000. Another, allegedly, she used deception to obtain cash and services of $22,000. That's just rounded off, guys. As well as a GoFundMe for approximately $11,000. This does not include the Make-A-Wish Foundation and a few other, like Professional Miracles Foundation, etc. and so on, and as well as funeral homes. Now, guys, I have hit my limit, so I have to hurry here, but what made her decide that that was the time that Olivia's life should have ended? Only she knows this answer, and hopefully one day she'll come forward and, you know, face what she did. I also hope that investigators will set an example of these physicians, because right now, like I mentioned, malpractice is the #3 killer in the United States, and that is ridiculously awful. Completely unacceptable. And if we don't set an example soon, this could be your family member that's going to be in these types of statistics. I mean, I don't want to be part of that. What about you guys? I am deeply saddened by this case. That's why I'm sharing it. I did want to raise awareness that they're kind of bobbling the responsibility on this and kind of slapping the doctors on the hands, when clearly they played a huge role in Olivia Grant's death. As far as the older child, she is now living with somebody. We don't know where she's at, but she is safe. So we don't know if she's being treated for anything medically, anything like that as of right now. So I want to send out my love to, you know, people that are going through this type of thing or have been through this type of thing. All right, guys, I have a little background noise. I apologize, but I'm having to hurry on to finish this up. Appreciate you guys being around here, caring. That's really important. That is what makes awareness work. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.